Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Podcast Off Rails, episode 2.5. Yay! I'm your host, Bander. Welcome to the show. And I'm here with my co-host, Tiaz.
Hello.
Yay! Everyone's so excited. We still don't have our third host yet. He got back online, but he's apparently
currently
asleep.
That's what I'm assuming, because he said that he was going to get on something, and then he proceeded not to. And I look, and then it said that he was snoozing on Steam. So I know that he's asleep.
He falls asleep at his keyboard quite a lot.
Yes.
And the reason for the 2.5 is because we had a podcast 2 weeks ago, but technical difficulties resulted in it not being uploaded, so it will now be forever known as the Lost Podcast. And I still have it. I have everything to go ready for it, but because it's going to take like an hour, like 3 hours to render and then upload, probably another hour, I just screw it. We'll just wait for the next one because there's no point. But let's just start with I want to start with the Rayman leak because that's like the hot news right now. So yesterday, there was a post on probably 4chan, I would assume, of a picture of the character select screen with Smash Bros. With Mewtwo and Rayman on it, with a very convincing looking photo of Rayman, as well as a splash card of Rayman joins the battle and a zoomed in image of Rayman. And then later that day, a video was shown of the character select screen in full motion, mind you, with what I believe are sounds and stuff. And then the guy's cursor hovers over all the characters. It goes to Rayman, doesn't select Rayman, but just stays on Rayman. And then you kind of hear a buzzer noise, like a but that usually means like you can't select this. And that was it. And everyone's like, Rayman freaking confirmed. Rayman is going to be a character in Smash Bros. And everyone's going crazy. Game Explain is doing discussion videos on it, and they're like, yep. Everyone's like, yep, that's true. Then I go on the internet this morning, and this guy posts a video of him doing the entire fake and all the models and all the stuff and all the art like perfectly, and it's just like, wow. Holy cow, he faked a video of the character select screen in full motion with all the details and animations in it. It was like unbelievable. He took leaks and fake leaks up to a new level. Any thoughts?
I thought it was pretty. I thought it looked really good, and then once it was announced, like, oh yeah, this isn't real, and I'm like, man, when I think about it, they didn't even show, like, because it's like, I didn't really think about it, like, the sound or whatever, but I was like, since they didn't even show, like, any actual gameplay, I was, like, and then I just kind of hit my head, yeah, this probably wasn't even real to begin with when I started thinking more and more about it.
One of the ideas is that with the Mario Kart DLC, you can see the characters in question. You can see the characters that you haven't bought yet, or if you, I bought both Mario Kart DLCs. So I saw Link, Tanuki Mario, and Cat Peach get updated to their actual portraits as soon as they came out. But I'm not sure if someone who hasn't purchased the DLC would see the portraits, or if they would see those cards that are like placeholders right now. But either way, you can still see them in the game, fully there, like ready to be purchased, kind of like taunting you almost. And so everyone kind of assumed that, oh yeah, this is exactly the same thing for Smash Bros. You'll see Rayman and Mewtwo on the screen, but you won't actually get to play as them unless you purchase them, but you'll still see them, just kind of like always being advertised as, hey, you could have this kind of thing. That's why I thought it was like, oh, this is actually pretty legitimate.
Yeah, like, because like, I would understand if they did that for like a online play for Smash, but I wouldn't like it for like, local or like just single player, because that would just really bother me. It's like, I don't want to look at this. If I want to look at it, I would buy it.
Then buy it.
That would be my.
You don't have to look at it anymore.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, but we'll just leave it here just in case you change your mind.
No, stop it. I don't want to look at it.
The on a personal note about Rayman, obviously being a Ubisoft character, and he's been pretty active lately as far as the character goes, and he's a pretty historical character in terms of, when his origins was. But to me, I don't really think Rayman is all that fitting for Smash Bros. I mean, I guess if there's going to be a Ubisoft representative, it would be Rayman. But I'm not really happy with Ubisoft right now. They're not really doing very much good right now, and I don't think they deserve to have a character in Smash Bros.
Yeah, good.
It's like they need to be put on
thing.
timeout, like right now, and just be like, no, you don't get these nice things that the lovely companies of Sega, Capcom, and Namco Bandai get. They get that privilege. Of course, we all love Sega and Capcom's practices. But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. And of course, the wonderful Nintendo of the wonderful 40-60 split of Nintendo.
Good old 40-60 split.
Why this podcast will not feature Nintendo gameplay to avoid nothing because we don't monetize it. It doesn't even matter. We could do it whenever we want. All right, so I guess that's about it for the Rayman topic. Although, actually, no, wait, one more thing. Ubisoft made a tweet or a statement or something that they're going to make an official statement regarding Rayman on Tuesday. Now, I have no idea what the hell they can mean by that, because it's been confirmed that it's fake. So why would they need to be making like any sort of announcement regarding Rayman? Why don't they just say, no, that's fake. We don't need to make some official statement. Like, what is going on behind these scenes here, where these people are like, "Well, we got to say something about this. This is actually something important." Could it be that Rayman is actually in this game? That trophy that was just sitting there as a placeholder wasn't actually just pointless, and Rayman is actually in this game?
No, that's a lie. That's a lie construed by the government. Clearly.
I just want to, I'm really curious what Ubisoft is going to say on Tuesday, and whether or not there's actually going to be something interesting. Because, it seems like they were just like, oh crap, how did they find out about Rayman? Oh god, we better make an official statement here because it got leaked, and they don't actually realize that the leak was faked. But then, now that it actually is officially fake, maybe they'll not say anything about it and just retract it. That would actually be pretty good hype if Rayman is actually in this game, and this dude just came out and just randomly did it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. But if they retract from their statement, like they don't do anything Tuesday, then people will be suspicious, and then be like, "Oh, hey, it looks like he is in the game."
Well, now,
and then they'll.
Well, now it doesn't really matter if they make a statement or not, because they're going to make a statement. It's like, oh, they're going to officially deny it. But now that the guy has officially said it's fake, they don't have to make any statement. It's like, oh, well, never mind then. If they don't make it a statement, then it's just like, oh, whatever. All right, so then why don't you? Well, how long do you think you're going to be talking about Monster Hunter?
I don't know, probably 5 minutes, 10. I don't know.
Good. We'll do my game after that.
Okay.
So Justin's been playing.
I just got Monster Hunter the other day, and I actually now I'm about 20 hours into it. I'm actually playing it right now because it's really fun. And I just can't stop playing it. It's just one of those games that you just can't stop playing yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are you going to ask me any questions about it?
All right.
So that we can continue it?
I was leveling up in my game. Hang on.
Exactly.
So
we're doing our own things.
What's your favorite class so far? What's your favorite weapon class?
Oh, okay. So my favorite weapon, the one I've been using from the start, is Insect Glaive.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to start using a heavy bowgun for solo, but I just haven't finished an armor set, and I've been meaning to, but then I get distracted by making another armor set, because it's like, oh, I really want to get another Blade Master one, and then it's like I keep fucking going between trying to make another set for Gunner, or actually making a set for Gunner, and then making another set for Blade Master, so it's just like I can't stop doing it.
Is there
wait, what?
Is there any kind of story?
Yes, there is a story in this one.
Is there a story in the last one?
From what my friend told me it wasn't really anything.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But in this one, there is like an actual story.
Do you have any of that like Nintendo themed like costumes and stuff like that, like the Link thing? Or the Mario
Those
Luigi
aren't out
hats?
yet. For the only one that's out yet for the right now for the US is for your Palico, which is the Mario or Luigi outfit,
Oh, okay.
and they give you pretty much enough for either one or the other.
All right.
And then also you get to make a little like a hammer.
Is there any like customizing your character at all? Like in the demo, you just picked a character and it would either be male or female. It didn't really.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is an actual like character customization. There's like 20 different types of hair for like the female because that was the one I picked, and the hair that I have was it's pretty much Axel's hair from Kingdom Hearts.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
I love Axel.
And then also because this is like they actually added this for this game. You can actually customize your own Palico.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much it's like you have like a main cat now, and there's like other cats that you can get from like online, which I still have yet to figure out because I've just been too lazy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like that's pretty much like what I can think of for customization.
Is there like when you make a character, can you switch his class?
Oh yeah, no, you can use any weapon you want.
Oh, okay.
Because when you start it, they pretty much give you all the starting because they give you the first weapon of each class, or like rather each weapon. So it's like you can do because the first one that they give you is sword and shield, and then you can just switch it to whatever you want. Like you can do switch X, you can do hammer, you can do bow gun, you can do bow, etc.
So I'll probably, or I don't know, like I have so many backlog games that I want to get, and because Club Nintendo is pressuring me to get these backlog games so I can get more coins, so I want that platinum status. Because I still have to get Kirby, I still have to get Bayonetta 2, and then I have to get Captain Toad. Those are like the 3 games left on my list. And so, and I do want to get Majora's Mask, and I do want to get Monster Hunter 4, but there's like no room for them. And there's like Kirby coming out next at the end of the month, and oh god, it's happening all over again. Too many Nintendo games. I can't possibly buy all these Nintendo games. Okay, so, but in the spirit of buying backlog games, I bought a little game called Fantasy Life, which is made by what do they call it? Next Level?
I think it's Next Level or Level 5 or whatever it is.
Level 5 is it? Next Level is a different company. That's a Nintendo company. Yeah, this is Level 5. They're the guys who made Ni no Kuni, which I also bought recently. But I think I mentioned that in the podcast. Or wait, I mentioned that.
You mentioned it. Yeah, you mentioned it in Minecraft. I was thinking, you probably mentioned that last episode that will most likely air like years later.
Years later, when we're rich and powerful with 5 billion subscribers.
You mean when you get 5 more subscribers?
It's so sad. Anyway, Fantasy Life is this awesome little RPG. It's like a if you combine Monster Hunter and Animal Crossing, essentially, I would say.
And don't worry, there's also an Animal Crossing extra stuff coming to Monster Hunter.
God, or just like dress yourself up like villager.
No. Your cat can be dressed up as Isabelle or Rossetti.
Oh, I've seen the Rossetti one. I've definitely seen the Rossetti one. I didn't know about the Isabelle. Okay, so Fantasy Life, you basically are in this world, and you're some kind of class that has to do with a village or a town, and those classes are actually. I can look it up. I have the game right in front of me. I can just look them up. Licenses. So there's 4 main like normal combat classes. You can be like a paladin, which means you're going to be working for the the king, like directly under the king. Be a mercenary, which is just you're freelancing. Hunter, wizard, and then there's 8 job like classes that normally be like crafting kind of stuff. There's cooking, fishing, woodcutting, mining, blacksmith, carpentry, tailoring, and alchemy. And it's all these like cool little job classes where you're not necessarily fighting monsters, but you're going out, you're collecting supplies, you're doing quests, you're making things, you're selling them and all that stuff. It's really, really fun. It's simple and it's easy to do, but everything about it is really charming, and kind of all the monsters are kind of cool, and all the characters you meet are funny and stuff like that. It's really fun. I've already sunk like 15 hours into the game, and a lot of times, especially with me, it takes me a while to get through like RPGs, just because I don't have a ton of time on my hands. Like I haven't even beaten Vesperia yet, and I'm starting on this one yet, and I've just sunk all my time into that. Any like free time besides like work and school and stuff is going into like Fantasy Life and playing Fantasy Life. It's just like it's crazy. I was a miner, and I quickly rose through the ranks of mining. I became an expert miner. Then I'm like, you know what? I need to do something else. I need to change my life. I'm gonna be an archer, and I started being an archer and exploring all these places. And there's very little stopping you from exploring. Like there's some story, and that at a certain point, like you can't advance. You have to complete more of the story in order for like whatever roadblocks in your way to let you through. But when you do get through those roadblocks, there's a lot to explore until you reach the next roadblock. There's like I found like so many little caves and dungeons and stuff like that I can go through and like find treasure and stuff like that. It's just really fun. There's so much to it, and it's like I can't wait to try out the rest of the classes. I've only done 2, and there's 10 more classes to try out. It's amazing. So much stuff in that game. It's really good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, I actually did have something on my mind, but now I just completely forgot what I was gonna say. Gosh. Oh no, I remember what I was gonna say.
What's up?
Oh Jesus!
Hey, look who's here!
Oh man, I believe I was supposed to be here from the start.
I believe you were. Okay, we're gonna pause real quick so we can catch our guest up. So welcome back to Podcast Off Rails. I'd like to introduce a new co-host, Solid Lobster. Everybody.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is a podcast. We don't need code names here.
Call you
Billy. Well, that's your code name, but we call you Billy anyways during the entire podcast.
Yeah. I was supposed to be here from the beginning, but I was off the grid for a long time.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
I mean, this fucking the stupidest reason ever. I wasn't able to have internet.
Yes, please tell us.
God.
Well, moved into a new place, and the router didn't reach to the part of the property that we live on. So I go through all this trouble. I buy a new router, and it's like, oh, this one's stronger. It should reach, and it didn't reach. And then, so I go down to my sister's, which is the house on the other side of the property. And I'm like, yes, it's like, all right, here's the deal. We can either add a new modem to your account, or I'll just get my own account. I don't give a shit. And they're like, oh, we can do that. So we went down to Comcast, and they're like, no, we're Comcast. We won't let you do that. You can't add a new modem to your account. So then I was like, so we were like, all right, whatever. So we came back, and I was like, all ready to just buy a new modem and start my own account. When she's like, well, I mean, we could try some other stuff. And then later on that day, she moved the router from where it was to a new spot in the house where it was closer. And now look at that, I have internet.
Hooray!
Like, it just moved it like a few feet closer, and like all the internet's here. And yeah, that's my story. Interesting, I know.
Okay. So let's see. Well, do I have anything else to say about Fantasy Life? It's multiplayer. I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to do that though. I heard it's pretty good. You just run around and mess around with your guys.
Yeah. Okay. So before we got crashed upon, I wanted to tell you still need to play Bravely Default.
Oh, I still need to play a lot of things. I mean, I still need to finish Vesperia. I'm like almost done with that game, and then Bravely Default, and then what is the third? I have the third RPG, something like that. Oh, Ni no Kuni, and then I have the two Metroid Prime 1 and 2, and then
You
Wonderful
haven't played those?
101, and then it's like the list goes on, like backlog games.
Wait, you never played Metroid Prime? Like any of them?
No,
He's playing a
I
little
played
bit of
3.
3.
Oh, damn, dude. Missing out.
not anymore because I got them for $10.
That's what's up. I put in a pre-order for Type 0.
Whoa! We're not pre-ordering this year, Billy.
What happened?
All right, so go ahead and talk about Dying Light.
Dying Light? Oh yeah, since I've been disconnected, that's all I could play. Because most of my games are on my Xbox and they all needed updates. So I've been playing Dying Light. That game's a lot of fun. There's a lot of like it took a lot of like a Mirror's Edge parkour. It's a lot different from Mirror's Edge, but you start to feel after a while, once you start getting more upgrades into like your agility and everything, you start to feel like, okay, I can see the influence from Mirror's Edge that this took. And it's created by the same people, that made, Dead Island and everything.
Mhm.
So essentially what you want to think of it is like, you think of it as Dead Island, but good. Because Dead Island's fun with friends, but there's a lot missing when you play it solo. I usually tend to like to play solo games before I jump into co-op, so that's what I did with Dead Island, and it lacked for me. Dying Light, there was never like a dull moment for me. Like it really is like, yeah, you can play co-op, but there's no loss to the experience if you play it just by yourself. I found a lot of like you can mod weapons. There's like certain ways you can upgrade them now. Is like you do quests, or like you find blueprints that you can like modify your weapon like you did in Dead Island, or you find like actual upgrades to your weapons. Like there's a king that puts like +2 to durability, +2 to strength, and +2 to like handling, right? So there's a bunch of different combinations you can come out with a bunch of different weapons. The small detail, but for me, I like it a lot, is like reading the descriptions on items you pick up and blueprints and everything. I like to, it's nice to have a basic description, but I like a little humor in it. A lot of them are pretty funny to read, and like the names for the blueprints are pretty funny. There's a lot of like just like stuff to do. Like if you really wanted to, you could just walk around for a little bit killing zombies. It won't get tiring, but there is like I checked recently. I've probably put like maybe 45, 50 hours into the game so far. I checked my story mode progress, and I'm at 38%. Like
I was saying to Justin, like, oh yeah, I put 15 hours into Fantasy Life. That's so much, right? And then Justin's like, I put 20 hours into Monster Hunter. And you've blown that completely out of the door.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there's no fast travel in the game, right? That's not a thing.
No, which I enjoy, because when you have fast travel in a game like this, it's the same thing that always ends up happening to me with like Fallout or Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls games. You get a fast travel, and yeah, it's convenient, but you lose a lot of the world,
Right.
because then you're like, oh, shit, this quest is all the way over there. I'm just gonna fast travel, whatever. But here it's like it forces you to actually traverse the world, and in a game with constant threat of zombies and like different types of zombies, like that's where the parkour comes in handy, because you can't just walk through the streets. It's crowded with zombies. So then the parkour comes in handy, and then you're not gonna be as like brave as you would be in Skyrim or Fallout or anything. You're not going to be as brave as first, because your agility's not as high up, which means you can't parkour as well. So you just want to do in like short spurts, But as you get later on, then you start getting like okay, yeah, I'm faster at the parkour. I can outrun these zombies no problem, and you get a grappling hook, which makes things easier. So it forces you to go into the environment a lot, and that's a really well done detail to a game, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Instead of just going, oh, this quest is over here, let me fast travel there.
Really makes it
Like-
more about the world, less about the actual progression.
Right. And the thing about that is like the story's not half bad. Okay, obviously I don't think story was a main focus point. Like they put time and effort into it, but for what it is, it's got a pretty interesting story, a pretty decent story.
Now,
And then
quick question:
what's
you're playing on the one?
yeah, I'm playing it on the Xbox until I get my computer runs things pretty well, but I'm just holding off until I can run things at high performance. So I haven't really gotten anything for my PC of late, except for a game. One of the first things I did when I got my internet back is I bought Life is Strange on Steam. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard good things.
I've heard so many good things, but I've seen someone play through like a small part of it, and I was just like, I really want to play this game because I like the idea that you can take your decisions back and like do something else.
Yeah,
That's a really cool feature, and it's not like
Yeah.
oh you can like cheat through the whole game. It's like if you're not happy with the direct outcome of a decision, you can go back, but it's not like you can go back like 5 decisions ago.
right.
Yeah, you can only go back so close to where you just went or are.
I do enjoy, like they're taking what Telltale does so well, and they're trying to put a new spin on it. And don't get me wrong, I've loved everything that Telltale's put out. I am interested in the way that they're doing it though, where you can kind of take back the decisions and everything, but make it into a way where, like, if you can't like be like, oh, that decision I made like an hour and a half ago or 3 hours ago, like that one you can't take back because it's too far back. But like an immediate decision that you might have made like a few minutes ago, you're like, you know what, I'm not happy with that. Then yeah, you can go back and redo it. I do enjoy that because I can tell you what, there's
a lot of things that happen in those kind of games is that you make a decision and then something completely out of left field that you couldn't have really predicted comes out and like destroys you, and you're like, now I have to live with that whole thing for the rest of the game. It's like this time you can be like, no, I'm going back. And what's cool about the whole mechanic is that one, it's used in actual gameplay as well, not just decisions. Like sometimes if a tree has fallen and it's blocking a path, you can go back in time and go back before that tree was there and move ahead of it before it completely blocks you in. And the character is also aware of this power, so she knows that she is moving time around, and that's kind of a big plot point. This is cool.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's really cool. I got a little off topic from Dying Light though.
What's the name of
Another
the
thing I
podcast?
wanted.
Really?
Oh, off the rails. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least that was as great as the first one where me and Joseph was just talking about how he shaved his chest, and now when he put a shirt on, he couldn't live with himself.
And my shirt feels weird when it touches my nipples.
Oh man.
Okay. So, the wonderful people at ArenaNet just announced a Guild Wars 2 expansion called something Thorns, Heart of Thorns. Something about
Heart
Thorns.
of the Swarm.
Heart of the Swarm. And
I've heard some of our friends have been talking about it.
Yeah, it's going to add a new class called the Revenant, and it's going to be jungle themed, which I love. I love jungles, and kind of change the way you level. And one of the things they talked about is they're trying to make the expansion give you more horizontal leveling. So it makes it so that the stuff you've done so far, the armor, the weapons, the leveling, the skills, and all that stuff are still relevant. But there's more things you now have to envelop into your leveling system. Like there's a mastery system that they're talking about that's going to sort of add more depth to your character, as well as specializations. Like there's going to be like I don't know if they've talked about a lot of them, but I know like Elementalist now has like a druid subclass or something like that. All kinds of stuff like that. And I'm really excited about that because it means that you don't actually have to just grind for a new set of armor or go to like level 90 or whatever. That there's no new level cap. It's all just the same. You're just expanding on your already established like stuff. Pretty cool.
Okay, for
That's
some
pretty
reason,
cool.
when you said horizontal, I don't know why, I just started thinking of like how the levels are laid out in Monster Hunter now, where they're just vertical. So it's just like a lot more like there's an actual like top and then bottom two like levels in the game.
Yeah.
Like in areas. It's crazy.
Now, I've tried to get into Guild Wars too. Any Guild Wars really. Right now, like I played for about like 10-15 minutes with Steven and Christian, and but like my problem is like when I play it, like I have to look at the ground, or else I move at like 5 frames per second.
Okay.
So I haven't really delved too much into Guild Wars. I actually don't know much about it either. But so I'm a little lost in this conversation. But I do like some of the stuff that I read that they're doing. Like from what I know and from what they're adding, like I would be excited about it too. Like I own Guild Wars 2 and I plan on playing it once I have the capacity to. So I'm interested in this expansion as well. Like even for someone who doesn't know much about the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, Guild Wars 2 has always been like a seasonal game. I play it. I think I get into it for about 2 weeks. Every like 4 or 5 months, I'll start playing it again. And like Giuseppe, okay, Joseph, and Christian will come in and we'll all play it for like 2 weeks and we'll have a fun time. This with the expansion coming out, that's going to give us like a real good incentive to play it again, and you guys have it as well, and hopefully Justin will have it by then. And
if I can get job.
Yeah, have a lot more fun with it because for most of the time I'm playing it, I'm usually playing by myself and leveling myself because everyone else is always at a different level or something like that, or not online or not available or something, whatever. Hopefully it'll be a good chance to like all level together as one that group, which would be nice.
Right.
Yeah. On the other side of that equation, one of the things I really like about Guild Wars 2 is the fact that I paid $60 and now I don't have to pay anything else for any other updates. I might have to pay for the expansion, but there's no like monthly fees. It's all just like microtransactions that are like aesthetic only.
Right.
On the other side of that, Elder Scrolls Online is now going to go free to play or pay once and you got the game for life.
Yeah, same setup as Guild Wars.
I played the ESO beta. It is not a very fun game. It doesn't take any of the interesting bits about Skyrim or Elder Scrolls. It just takes kind of the boring bits of MMOs and just the lore of Elder Scrolls. And it wasn't very fun at all.
That's always the problem. I've heard it's improved since then, but it's never going to be the same as getting like Skyrim or something. Because when you do an MMO, you lose a lot. Like that, like you can do so much in depth with an RPG, but you're catering to such a huge audience with an MMO that.
One of the important things about Elder Scrolls is that you go into the game and you find out, like, first Skyrim is the only one I played, so that's the only example I'm going off of. But you go into the game and you're being told you're the Dragonborn. You're gonna be able to like.
Yay, you're the thing.
Either language and stuff. You're like this important character, and there's only one of you. And then you're going around. You're becoming the head of guilds. You're killing dragons. You're like killing the king of the world and changing the entire world by yourself. With an MMO, you're not getting that. You're just one in a million who are doing the same exact thing you are.
Yeah. You can't accomplish as much in an MMO.
Wait, I remember while we were playing the beta, because I actually was in the beta too, and didn't I give you a code for it?
Shit, I never got in the beta.
No, I'm talking to Joe. Joe, didn't I give you a code?
No, I got it myself. I think you.
Okay, because I remember I gave my code to one of my other friends, but it was really funny because it's just like, oh hey, look, you're the special person who's gonna do this, and then there's just a few other people standing right next to me. I'm like, cool, who are you talking to?
They are also a special person.
And
You
then
are
I was
special
like,
person. We're all
and then
special.
it's like when you went to the first dungeon, there's no instancing, so it's just like everyone's in the same fucking thing. So there's just hundreds of people running around these fucking ruins. I'm like, this is
And
not fun.
no one could figure out how to do the quest. It was like there was no end to the quest.
Yeah, I know, it was ridiculous. And then I remember, this is like a thing in the full game, where people would just literally sit in the cave, like, cause this is like when the game came out too, or like a month after. People would just sit in a cave waiting for the main monster of that cave, like the boss of it, to respawn. They would kill it immediately and then wait there, and the carcasses would just pile up. Like there's just a ton of like dead bodies.
Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, MMO, like an MMO Elder Scrolls game, in my opinion, it can't work because Elder Scrolls has all been about making your character like one of the most special people to grace the area,
So-
you know?
So
Like-
lay your nuts on everyone else.
like in Skyrim, you're going ahead. Well, I guess in other one like Oblivion and them too. You're going around. You're like climbing the ranks. You become like the head of the Thieves Guild, head of the Dark Brotherhood. You know, you're like in Skyrim. You're you can choose which side of that war between the Nords and everything is going on. Like you can choose each side. You'll be like at the head of that side of the war. You'll be commanding people and like on the front lines, or you can bring them together yourself because you're the Dragonborn and settle that war. Like just make them go to peace so you can fight the bigger evil. With an Elder Scrolls MMO, it doesn't work like that because they want to treat you like you're special. But like Justin said, you're sitting there with like 5 other people, and they're telling them the same thing. Like, I mean, it takes away from a big part of what Elder Scrolls is. Now, I guess you could say that about like other MMOs, but that's not the case because like with World of Warcraft, that's the go-to explanation. World of Warcraft, what they do so well is you can get involved in the story and the world a lot easier. And that because the way it's set up to you is like there's a war going on between the Horde and the Alliance, and you're a part of it. Like you're a soldier in that war. You're not the special guy, but you're one special person
That's what I was looking for. I thought Elder Scrolls Online, like just MMOs in general, should follow that path because it really just makes more sense.
Yeah, if it's set up to you where you're part of a group that's special, then yeah, it works. But when you're going through and doing these quests where they're like, oh, you're the guy, it has to be you, like it doesn't, it can't work like that because then there's so many people that are getting told the same thing, and you're like, well, I mean, I don't feel like this is my story. I feel like this is just you're telling this to everyone. There's nothing to make you feel like you stand out from everyone else.
This is my story, but you're also part of it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not the main part of my own story, but it's okay. I can live with it.
There's the Star Wars MMO, the Old Republic. That was a lot of fun, but the way they set it up is like you can have like 3 people talking to a person in like a cutscene, right? And then like each of you can roll for a different dialogue option, and whoever wins the roll, it says them, and then you're like, and then it takes away like from what you want. You're like, I didn't want to say that at all. That's not what I wanted to play out. This isn't what I wanted.
Oh man, thank you for reminding me of that. How my character was the biggest douchebag, and Josh got really mad at me.
Josh was trying to be nice. I was going along with Justin on this. We shot that one dude, didn't we? Again,
Yeah.
Josh was like, what did you do that for?
My character
Josh.
was meant to be just a giant asshole. That's all he does. And then also, the only other thing I do is I'm like, man, I gotta please my partner, who is a woman. So it's like pretty much like my entire thing is I'm trying to please her by being rude and being money grubbing as possible.
Yeah. So the thing about like MMOs is that you need to have it set up to where you still feel like you're in control a little bit. And World of Warcraft, granted, it's been around for a long time now. It's still able to do that the way it's set up is that you're a part of something. Elder Scrolls, it feels like everybody's just telling you what you want to hear to get you to do what they want you to do.
I think that the thing that Guild Wars 2 does a little bit differently is that there is a very dynamic world that you're working with. A lot of times there's like, oh, the rat people are invading this camp, and if they take it, they'll take the camp for like an hour. And you can stop them, or you cannot, and then they'll take the camp, and then maybe one of your fast travel points will be contested for like an hour, and you won't be able to travel there. And I think it's not amazing, but it's pretty good. And then there's other things, like they destroyed the entire like main city of the game. It's just destroyed. There's nothing left to it. And that's just like part of their dynamic world. And you could have taken a part of that story and joined in that. But for the most part, you are just kind of like the same character as everyone else. But there's a little bit there to make you feel like you're doing something on your own.
Right. And like I said, like Guild Wars I don't have a lot of experience with, so I don't want to speak for Guild Wars at all. But like from my general experience from MMOs, that's what I get. That's how I feel with Elder Scrolls. So it helps that it's gone the way of Guild Wars. Buy once. It'll definitely help them, but they're gonna have to improve on it in some way to make it feel like it's worth my time,
because they also said that they're going to be doing like updates every week, like pretty much like Guild Wars.
All right.
Like, cause they're going to try and update the game as much as possible, so that that'll be much more worth your time. But it's like I'm still skeptical of it because of when it first launched and how awful it was.
Yeah, they're taking steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
We got to see how they execute the steps.
Yes, they have to fix what they did wrong.
Yeah.
They'd probably need something like a Realm Reborn Final Fantasy XIV to really get people to pay attention to it. Because if they just silently update it and nothing really happens, word of mouth may spread that it's actually good, but it's not going to get anywhere. They need to really revamp it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they'll talk about in the Bethesda E3 conference.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Huh?
You beat me to it. Their first ever one. I'm excited.
No, they're going to clearly talk about Fallout in some respect.
I think like everybody's been clamoring for Fallout, that like there's going to be a big backlash if they don't say something about Fallout at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want them to with Fallout 4. Did I say Fallout 3? I'm fucked up. With Fallout 4
HD next gen version.
But like with Fallout 4, I've heard like a bunch of like different like locations that they're gonna do. I'm really weird with my locations. I like New Vegas's location. I didn't like 3's location. There's something about a Wasteland City that doesn't sit right for me. Although when it comes to a game that's like GTA or anything, I love big cities in my game. But something about making it a Wasteland City doesn't do it for me. So I'm hoping it's not like I've heard rumors about Chicago, and I mean it'll still be a good game.
I've had enough of Chicago for one gaming generation.
But yeah, like I hope they kind of do a more open kind of Mojave Wasteland, like they did with, like not exactly Mojave because that's what Vegas was, but something along those lines.
I hope they stay in the general area of Mojave or California, because that's like where like the first 2 games and New Vegas took place.
Right. Sacramento, it's wonderful here. Even in Wasteland Apocalypse, Sacramento all the way.
Because I want to see, it's either that or I want to see the heartland of America, somewhere around there.
Oh yeah,
What if it's Florida, like Orlando, and like you can go around, like, and it's like there's wasteland around it, but you can like go to like Wasteland Apocalypse Disneyland or Disney World and like Universal or something like that, or maybe they have like a fake.
No, Disney World wasn't built in the 50s though.
Disney World wasn't built in the 50s?
No, that was Disneyland, I think. No,
Disneyland was around. Disney World. That's
Disney World was made after Walt Disney died.
Maybe
I know this because I took a history of animation class last semester. I know what I'm talking about.
does Fallout have to be in the 1950s? Can it be like 1960s?
No, because the apocalypse happened in the 50s, where everyone just started dropping bombs everywhere. That's the reason why everything is that way.
Right.
And it takes place in like.
It takes place in the future.
Like it takes place in like 2000, like 70s and 80s.
Yeah, it takes place in the future, but nobody knows about culture past the 50s. That's why everything's the way it is.
Okay, so maybe. Okay, then go back to LA, and we can go to. I just want Apocalypse Disneyland for some reason.
You want your amusement park. You're not getting it.
Well, because Disney World is such a huge place, it would be really cool for like a video game, apocalyptic video game setting. But it's off limits, I guess.
Yeah,
can you imagine the licensing they'd have to get for that?
I would. They'd call it like Dibbyland or something. I don't know, something.
Yeah,
with,
Disney World.
Michael Mouse.
Yeah, just go the same route that GTA does with their cars and everything.
Yeah. The boss sack.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm kind of looking towards the Bethesda conference as a chance for them to say Skyrim, literally Skyrim next gen like version. I think.
I feel like they might say something like that, and I don't want to hear them say that.
With the success of GTA, like as a in the next gen version, it's so easy. Just you do it. It prints money. It's not, and no one will be mad about it because if they say Fallout 4 and this, everyone will be like, "Yay, Bethesda! They did a good job." And if it's just something they can do, it'd be really cool. And maybe like
one thing that I want. I'm not expecting it to happen or anything. Granted, I know there's bad things going on. Like people aren't too happy with the ending of Evil Within, but I like what Bethesda did with Evil Within overall. And it's maybe a little too early, but I do want to at least hear a little bit of a hinting that they want to continue with that or something along those lines. Because they did a really good job as far as a psychological horror goes, and they had Mikami from he created the original. I think I fucked his name up. Whatever. The creator of the original Resident Evils. You can't go wrong with that. He's responsible for one of the greatest games, in my opinion, that I've ever played, and that was Resident. So the Evil Within. I overall I liked the ending. Maybe not that great, but I want to hear something in regards to Evil Within or something along those lines.
This just in: Bethesda announces Brink 2 at E3 2015.
Hey man, I liked Brink.
Yeah, there are literally dozens of you. All right, moving on. Here seems to be muted right now. Let's quickly talk about Sonic Boom is the worst-selling Sonic game of all time, and with great justice, that news comes to you from. Thank God, hopefully they'll see that as, okay, that game was crap. Let's not do that again. Versus Sonic's not selling anymore. We can't make Sonic games anymore. No, make Sonic games. You were doing good before. Just put some effort into them. Don't put big red buttons in charge.
I still think the best Sonic game they made was Sonic CD.
Yeah, there's always my favorite Sonic game is Sonic 2. So I go even further back. But then again, that was the very first game I've ever played. So there's a little bit of nostalgia bias there. But
my first game I ever played was Resident Evil.
Oh, interesting.
No, it wasn't. It was Final Fantasy, and then Resident Evil was second or third.
Wait, would that be Final Fantasy 4?
No, it was Final Fantasy 1.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Well, the first one here in America. Was that 4?
That was 4.
Oh, well then I guess it was 4.
Yeah. or might have been 3, maybe.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was Final Fantasy 4.
It might be 4. I just remember like they said it. Like I remember hearing Final Fantasy 1 because it was the first one in America, so I always say that. But it could have. No, it had Cecil. Cecil was 4, right?
Yeah, 4. It was 4.
Yeah, then it was 4. Yeah, 4 was the first game I played. That was the first game I played. Then Resident Evil was a little further after that. Ironically, one of the first 5 games I played was Final Fantasy 4. There's Resident Evil, Suikoden, which I've been playing again, by the way. Fucking masterpiece, by the way. I would encourage people to like go buy the games on PSN, even if like they never played Suikoden, just to support it, because that's like I almost put it above Final Fantasy in my favorites of JRPGs. But yeah, Suikoden, Resident Evil.
Right now.
What's that?
I have so many JRPGs I'm playing right now.
Oh yeah.
Still finishing Vesperia from summer. Now I'm starting Fantasy Life, and Justin let me borrow Bravely Default, and I bought Ni no Kuni, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D comes out this year, as well as Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's just God.
Yeah.
I'm still playing Pokemon.
And then, but like 5 games I remember playing. It was like Final Fantasy 4 was the first one. There was like Resident Evil, Suikoden. I don't remember the 5th one. I think it was like a Grand Theft Auto 3. But and then funny enough, it was a Super Mario RPG, and that game was a lot of fun.
That's such a weird list of games. You had like PS2, PS1, Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, so I just got back because I had to go get something. What are we talking about?
We're talking about we went off.
We started.
We started.
Yeah, we started with Sonic Boom.
Okay.
We'll get back.
And somehow it's something about RPGs.
We're talking about our first games. My first games was Sonic 2, and then Toy Story, the video game for the for the
Genesis.
Genesis.
Yeah, I played that too.
And I remember there was a Tom and Jerry game I played, and then at my day camp they had Super Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Country, and
I remember there's a Genesis game I would play all the time. I never got like past the first level, I think, because I was really young. There's a game called I don't remember the name of it, but it was like you play as Mickey and Donald.
Oh yeah,
and
like Castlevania kind of things.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but
like classic ones, like
the games I listed. There's like the first 5 that I remember playing. I'm sure there's games before that. Like I'll tell you, I could work a DOS. Like I knew the DOS codes at 3, so I'm sure I was playing a few games back then. But those are the first games that had the most influence on me, and like I remember playing a lot of. And yeah, we did. It's an interesting list because we had a lot of systems. My brother still has like regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, like just a bunch of systems.
I don't know where my Genesis ever went to, but I have my PS1. That's the earliest console I have. Justin has a Master System.
I obtained a Master System. I was trying to think about selling it on eBay, but I just
got a Laserdisc too.
Oh, well, I have an Atari 2600 in the attic.
Oh shit!
It's my dad's, and then all he would talk about is because he has a Superman game for it. He's like, Superman's just a blue blob. But my first game when I was growing up was obviously the classic Super Mario Brothers, and then after that was Darkwing Duck for NES as well, which is pretty much just the Mega Man game, but with Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was fucking hard. And I remember I could only beat the first level, and every level after that was fucking bullshit to me as a child. And then we didn't get a Super Nintendo or any like Sega systems. We just pretty much went to N64, and pretty much that's where most of my like young childhood was, along with like some PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah, I know you've got a big like soft spot in your heart for like Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh. Yeah, because I remember it was like a game that we like the first one we rented, and I loved it so much, but I was never able to finish it. But then I got the second one, and I pretty much got to the very end of the game, and I couldn't beat the final boss. And in 2003, after so many years of it being out, I was finally able to beat her. And God, I was like so happy. I was like, "Yay! I finally did it."
I have the biggest like shit-eating grin on right now because I'm like waiting to make the
transition.
Speaking of Banjo-Kazooie,
yeah, I lit into it. I knew it.
There is a new game. Hang on a second. I need to do spiritual successor. There's a new game in development by some of the original Rare team. Where's the Kickstarter?
Is it just people from Rare? Because I heard Rare was actually coming back, like the company.
The people.
No, Rare's like these. No, oh my Jesus Christ! What the hell was that?
Oh, I think that was me.
That was you, but it's like people from like who left after the acquisition of Rare from Microsoft. They're gonna be making a new team.
Oh, they are?
That's what's happening.
Okay, I remember hearing something about that. Cause I remember them talking about like spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. I also remember hearing something about a Conquer game, and that really got me going. Conquer, I had a lot of fun
with. The Conquer
with.
thing was for what was it called? What was that game called?
No, I know what you're talking about. No, not that. I remember Project Storm. I know Conquer's
Project Spark.
in there, but
well, last week we were talking about how Microsoft, or one of the guys from Microsoft was saying how he was just talking about some of the old Rare franchises. He's like, yeah, there'll definitely be new games for these franchises eventually. We just got to see where the market is, and he basically said that not this year, but sometime soon. Yeah, definitely. And to me, I just felt like that was just throwing them a bone, just saying, hey, yeah, they still exist, and we might make a game for them, but they're not going to, I don't think. And even if they did, I don't think that Microsoft has the team that would be able to make something like a Banjo-Kazooie, a Conquer game, or Battletoads, and really have the spirit of the old game with it. I think with this new Project Ukulele is the title for it. I think with this new spiritual successor, you've got the guys who originally worked on it. You got what's his name, Kirk something or another.
Grant Kirkhope.
Yeah. Who's going to be doing the music and stuff?
Who did the music for the original Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Donkey Kong 64? I know there's more games. I just can't remember them right now.
Yeah. These are the guys who made that game. They have the spirit of this game like mastered. And I think this is the game you're going to be looking towards if you want a real Banjo-Kazooie like game. It's not going to be Banjo-Kazooie just because you can't unless Microsoft pulls some crazy shenanigans and gets this game on their system. They're talking about putting it on the Wii U, but who knows about that?
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about having the same team create the spiritual successor, because a lot of times spiritual successors and everything, like it's influenced by them, but you rarely get like the same people that worked on it to work on it. But in this case, they're actually getting people from Rare to start working on it. And so there's justified hype in waiting for this info to be released about it, because it's coming from the people that know what they're working with. They worked on the originals, so they know what they need to do for this one.
You've got the best possible people working in this game. I would think that maybe, because to me, Retro Studios is the new Rare for Nintendo, because they're making the new stuff and really good stuff.
Yeah, they're making the really good stuff.
And they're making the Donkey Kong games now, and so I think they could maybe do a good Banjo-Kazooie game, but these guys are definitely the best stuff. But speaking of spiritual successors, or original creators working on the game, I believe Billy has a game he likes to talk about. He's really excited for, right? Called Silent Hill.
Yeah, Silent Hill. Yeah, Silent Hill. That's I wouldn't say so much spiritual successor.
No.
I think it'll be done really well. It's got some of the same people working on it, but the guy in charge of everything is responsible for my absolute favorite video game franchise of all time, and I will talk like hours and hours about it. Hideo Kojima is working on Silent Hills. He's responsible for Metal Gear Solid. Absolute, in my opinion, hands down one of the greatest franchises of all time. And I've never had like anything bad that I've done that he was involved in. Justin, don't. I know you've got one. We're not talking about it. But
I actually don't know the game you're talking. What is the game?
Metal Gear Acid.
Did he work
that's
on
the
that?
Hard game?
Did he work on that?
Yes,
Well, it was
I don't
Metal
think
Gear.
so.
I don't think he
don't
worked
think he
on
did.
it, but it came out of the same franchise, so so that's why I'm saying don't mention it.
I don't think he worked on it. Much like how he didn't work on Metal Gear Rising. It was
Right,
just like a different
but-
team.
Don't worry, Billy.
Well, he was still involved. He was still involved with writing, with Rising, because he looked at the writing of the script and everything and like okayed it, but he didn't work directly on it. But it came out of a franchise that he was involved in, so I still count it the same. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and there's a lot of games that are mainstay that I don't really care about.
oh, well, yeah.
I'm still waiting on him constantly talking about chili dogs in an actual game other than Generations.
We talked about it in, like, the opening cutscene in Black Knight had chili dogs.
I need the entire game to be chili dogs related.
But yeah, like Silent Hills, we still don't know much about it. But I mean, Kojima.
I guess
he
you could
did-
say they've been rather silent about it.
Yeah, haha. Should I slap my knees at? Like, is that what you want? Like, but like when he announced that Silent Hills was what he was working on, he did it in Kojima fashion. He didn't fucking just come out and be like, oh yeah, so we're gonna be working on the new Silent Hill game. No, he's like, I want to show something new to you, and he showed PT. You remember PT?
Oh,
He
yeah.
showed PT as if it was a completely different thing. He showed like people playing it and everything, and at the very end, he didn't announce it. Like he just said, I'm working on PT. You can play PT right now. It's available for free on the PlayStation Network. Tons of people went and downloaded it. Turns out it was just a playable teaser, PT, for Silent Hills.
Oh, that's what it stands for. I never knew that.
Yeah. So he that's how he came out and said it. And he had like a dummy corporate, like dummy like company name that was working on it and everything, just like he did with
Metal Gear
Phantom
Solid
Pain.
5.
Yeah, with Phantom Pain, when that was first announced at it was actually announced at like one of the VGAs, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was announced at one of the VGAs, and like it was like Phantom Pain, and in my mind, I was like, I feel dumb because knowing how as much as I do about Kojima and like Metal Gear, not once did I think when I was looking, I was like, this isn't a Metal Gear game, like because I remember people were saying that. Then I started reading about like the pieces of the puzzle being put together, and then eventually. Kojima did a Konami press conference. He came out in like a little like bandage up like fake face mask, and they called him Joachim Mogren, which was the head of the dummy corporation that was working on Phantom Pain, which is also it was like if you rearrange the letters, it was Kojima, you know. But so he came out in that, and then he's like, I have something special to show you, and it's the trailer for Phantom Pain that we saw at the VGAs, it was extended though to show off Diamond Dogs and Metal Gear stuff, and then at the very end it said Phantom Pain, and then it filled in like the little empty spots with Metal Gear Solid 5, and then he did his like little famous like it came back to him, like the camera went back on him. He goes, "Did you like it?" It was great. Like Kojima's never been involved in anything that's been bad, in my opinion. He's like top of the food chain when it comes to knowing how to create a game. So the fact that one of the games that I grew up with, it wasn't one of the first games I played, but it was around the same time, right? I grew up with Silent Hill. Absolutely love Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2 is still one of my favorite games. But to see it being brought back and by one of the absolute best, Kojima, I'm so excited. I can almost put it I can almost put it as close to saying how excited I was when hearing that they were making a new Devil May Cry. I just hope it doesn't have the same outcome as Devil May Cry had.
DMC. So
Yeah.
did it announce a new Devil May Cry? I didn't know that.
No, when they announced DMC,
Oh, when
Yeah,
I
did
didn't
it?
know much about it.
Oh,
Yeah, they said that they were making a new Devil May Cry, and I was really excited. And then I started seeing what it was, and then
Okay.
all the excitement was gone.
Well, speaking of new announcements, Square Enix just announced a new Dissidia game for probably, I think Justin said arcades, and then hopefully
I am under the assumption that it's arcade.
I hope they bring it to
What
like
is?
console this time.
The
Dissidia.
new Dissidia game, like
Oh, yeah.
like there used to be one-on-one fighting game, and in the second one they introduced like assists, like in the Naruto
think-
games.
You think it's gonna be like an arcade, like in Japanese arcades?
I think it's gonna be in Japanese arcades because that's
You know what?
that's pretty much where everyone is saying what it is.
I wouldn't be shocked because, like, some of the arcades are like in Japanese, like arcade,
In Japan.
like like Japanese arcade like store, like fuck,
Well,
not stores, whatever.
Arcades,
like,
Japanese arcades
yeah.
are really good.
Japanese arcades, yeah, like they have one of the greatest damn Dragon Ball Z games I've ever seen in one of the Japanese arcades. They've got, I believe, or is that? I think they actually brought that over. I know for a while they had that Star Wars like TIE fight, like you were in the pod, you know. That
Yeah,
way they had that. It wasn't pod racing. Like you were in a TIE fighter, kind of.
I kind of know what you're talking about, but
X-Wing
I don't
versus
know
TIE
what to
Fighter?
call
Is that it?
I think it was probably something like that. But like, cause I understand what you're saying, cause like they just have a bunch of like crazy ass like arcade things, cause it's pretty much like where if you're gonna be playing video games in Japan, you'd normally just go to an arcade or have a handheld. Like
arcades
that's
are
pretty
pretty
much what.
popular there.
Yeah, it's like home consoles. That's not a really big thing there
Not as
as it
big.
Yeah.
used to be. Yeah, but one thing is fighting games. Pretty much that's where they start out their life is in the arcade, and then they get brought to home consoles,
Like Pokken.
and then yeah,
Yeah.
like that's
Like,
pretty much what it is for like fighting games.
Like one of the things that I remember seeing. I don't remember what the arcade game was, but you remember. I don't know if this is a place to bring it up, but you remember watching Pat's trip, Pat from Two Best Friends, his trip to Japan. I don't remember what game that was, but that game was in a Japanese arcade, and that was way cooler than like a lot of the games that I see coming out, you know, in the Western states and everything. Like I mean, why does Japan get all the cool stuff? You know?
This works. Arcades.
Big-
There's no market for arcades here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like because like my college has an arcade, but it's a bunch of like old fighting games, and then there's like only like one really new game, and it's just the Terminator Salvation game.
My college has some decent like arcade machines that are fairly new. I mean, they've got
'Cause-
Street Fighter 4.
Okay, mine has Marvel vs. Capcom 2. One of the sticks is broken on it, like you can't use it. We have let's see, we have Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and I believe I think it was like unplugged for a time, and I think it's plugged in now. We have Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and some of the buttons like you have to really jam in order to get going. We also have Tekken 5, the worst Tekken, but then they made Tekken 5 good by releasing Dark Resurrection, which isn't the version, so it's just like the bad Tekken 5. We also have Miss Pac-Man, a Guitar
Classic.
Hero 3 machine. I forget what it's like. It's pretty much like a sports machine. It's like it's got like an NBA and like Madden on it. We have Metal Slug 6. And the CRT is completely tinted yellow now, because that's how old it is. 2 pinball machines, like 2 racing games, and then a hunting game.
There's a racing game in my arcade, and it's in Japanese, so we couldn't understand it. And my friend, two of my friends, and I were playing it. and we got into a race. We were about to start it, and then we quickly realized one of us was not playing the same game as the other two, and the other two were playing time trial mode. So we were not playing against each other at all. I won though.
I wouldn't. Oh man. You don't want to, not to go off the set topics that you got. You know what I also, apparently it's a bad thing that I did this, but I also pre-ordered this a game while I was at GameStop picking up Evolve. I pre-ordered fuck, I don't remember. Just Cause 3.
Okay, you pre-ordered it?
Yeah, you
Man,
can. I didn't even like.
You are completely going against the grain here. No pre-ordering.
Why is that? What I don't.
Because we're trying to get, because like we wanted, because like pretty much what people are trying to do now is because we don't want people to be releasing, like, cutting things out of the game and putting it as pre-order stuff, because it just because like it does ruin games. But
Yeah, but I've never really had them.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but as we're getting, but we are coming to an end.
Oh, thank you, Justin. We are actually way past time. We're probably like 10 minutes past time. But real quick, a quick question: are there any Final Fantasy characters that you want to see in the new Dissidia?
Fuck.
I want to see. I want to see Jet. I don't know if he's in the other ones. I haven't played the other. Jet from 10.
10.
Yeah,
Tidus' dad.
He was pretty much the antagonist.
Okay.
I want Auron from 10.
Auron, yeah. I want the only character that I actually cared about from the 13 saga. I want Zaz.
Well, we are getting Lightning, so I don't know what we're getting, because the only one that they had for the city for it was Lightning, and also the other one.
I always thought that
was Lightning too.
Caius Ballad, the main villain of 13-2, would work pretty well. He's a cool villain. They did a great job with him. I
want another character from 8, like from Final Fantasy 8 though, other than Squall and Ultimecia.
What about?
Because wait, what?
How about Rai?
Alright. I'd like to see Aerith.
We're done here.
Playing Kingdom Hearts 2 and just going through the LP and listening to Rai is just the worst thing ever. You know.
I'd like to see Sora in the new Dissidia.
I wouldn't be against it, to be honest.
Of course he wouldn't.
I'd buy it.
Oh my god.
But I think is the cat character from 14, Justin?
The Matweek, I don't know if she'll be in there, because I'm pretty sure it's like a main characters of the quests of of the story from. Wait,
but wasn't the trailer featured like a cat character? I assumed that was.
No, they featured a 14 character. I don't know who it was, because I didn't get through that far through the trial of the game.
Okay, well, yeah, that answers my question. So it's a cat character from 14. So they're doing that. There was a character from 11 in Dissidia. Do you think?
Actually, there's 2 of them. But go on.
I think they'll do Noctis from 15, because I think they'll be like, oh, because he's gonna be there eventually in whatever Dissidia comes after that, if it's not released by then. But it's good promotion for 15 if they put Noctis in there.
They started releasing details for 15. I still don't really know anything about it.
Well, the main character was known it's been known since like the dawn of time. But the only details we know about that game is that it's going to feature an all-male playable cast, which I would bet money they've retracted by now. I think they've changed that at this point. But at least from what we know, it's going to be very open world.
We need our Tifa, or Tifa.
I've never real quick, I've never had a problem with like an all male or all male. Like all female works too, but like people get so bent out of shape. Like if you don't have like
as long
mix.
As the story works for it and it makes sense, who cares?
Yeah, gender, it shouldn't matter.
This isn't a freaking sitcom where we have to have token black character, two female characters or whatever, and stereotypical like Asian character. Even though, even
white
bigger
main
side
character.
tangent. Even bigger side tangent. Why is there no Asian character in Big Bang Theory? Side tangent over. I'll just leave it at that. We don't need anything else on that. Okay, Dissidia. Final Fantasy 15
We don't need
is
those
fine.
damn Asians. Okay, wait, what?
Final Fantasy 15 is fine. I want to play Type 0. I don't know if I'll have a PS4 by then, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I pre-ordered Type 0 because you get the beta access to 15.
Which comes out later, of course. But it's like,
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we'll just talk about what's going on in the channel. So I'm still doing Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. We just got into Mulan's World, and then we're going to go off to Beast Castle. I've already recorded that, so that'll be up soon. Justin and I are still working on the ship in Minecraft, Jot City. I'll probably do it back to Alpha this week as well. And then podcast will go up tomorrow. I guarantee it'll go up tomorrow. I promise you it'll go up tomorrow.
It better.
And then what else? What else am I doing? I might do something with Trevor, and yeah, that's probably about it. Justin, are you going to be doing anything for the channel?
Well, I was gonna be trying to learn how to edit on the thing that you showed me. It's just that I got distracted by classes, so that's been a big setback for me.
I've had a hell week too.
Yeah, so hopefully by the end of this month I'll learn how to use the program, and then I'll
by the end of the month.
Yep. Well, because I have to work on my audio class and my programming class, which are going to take up a bulk of my time. So don't give me this shit.
And I don't know what Billy's doing. So
I don't have any way to record anything. That's my biggest setback. I know Justin really wants me to play Chaos Theory, because I think I have the least experience with Chaos Theory.
What's Chaos Theory?
Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Out of the two of us, I'll say.
Oh,
so I know he wants me to play Chaos Theory, which I don't have any problem doing. But I just don't have any way to record anything, and that's my biggest setback right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find out stuff for it.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. We went way over time, like 15 minutes over time. Holy cow. Thank you all for watching Podcast Off Rails 2.5. Hey, 2.5. Kingdom Hearts 2. That's funny. I've been your host, Bander, and here with my two co-hosts, Tears.
Hello.
And
Goodbye.
Solid Lobster.
Don't say it. He said it. All right.
It's set in stone now.
It's official. It's been podcast certified. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Stop.